Hello everybody. My husband's just putting the camera in for Instagram. Hello Instagram, hello Facebook. How is everybody today? How are you all? Hello Catherine. Got my fake eyelashes on. I've realised I actually don't need to put on makeup anymore. Just use a filter. So it's a big day, astrologically speaking. And even if I were not doing these daily 11:11 a.m. Facebook Lives, I would be doing one today. So it's good that I'm doing them. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I thought I'd do them. So as you might know, I said I'm going to do them until I think the day before Christmas Eve. And one of the reasons I decided to do them again was because it would get me out of bed and out of my pajamas, because I was feeling in a bit of a slump, and it's really helped me coming here and doing these. But also because of the astrology being so intense, and I really wanted to kind of get on and talk about the astrology as well. So today is a big day, astrologically speaking. It's the kind of day that, well, I mean, when I was first doing astrology, I probably would have counted the days down until today. Because Saturn is changing signs. Saturn, the planet of hard lessons, is changing signs, and honestly, it's always such a relief. I mean, in some ways, it's a silly relief, because at the end of the day, when Saturn changes signs, it still goes somewhere else. But it's like all the pressures and all the intensity, all the sadness, all the hard lessons, all the stuff that you have to deal with, you have to face up to, which just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming and banging and banging and banging and banging. That's Saturn. Saturn's like, learn your lessons, and just doesn't stop punching until you've learned the effing lessons. Excuse my fake swearing. So, so it's a big day. And in fact, Saturn is a lot about fear, which is why it's such a difficult planet to deal with at times. And so I thought I would face my fears. And today we're going to do a card from Alana Fairchild's new Kali deck, which is kind of a scary deck. Sorry, Alana, but I find it a bit scary. It's a beautiful deck, but it's intense. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to tell you a little bit. Before we do that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the astrology that's going on. And before we do that, I'm just going to do a simple, super simple chant, and I'm going to do Om Namo Narayani, which basically means I surrender to the divine, or I surrender to the Divine Mother. But what I want you to do, or what I'm going to do anyway, it's up to you. I'm going to surrender something that's bugging me at the moment, which I won't go into, something that's upsetting me, and actually something else that's a kind of a work thing as well, which is also slightly annoying. I won't go into it. It's actually just a little technicality thing. It's nothing to do with my actual work. And I'm going to surrender those to the divine. So if you've got a problem right now, surrender it with me now. Surrender it with me now. Teresa says, how can I find out what sign is the daily moon in? Well, obviously, with my diary. I'll tell you what day the daily moon is in. What date is it today? It's Thursday the something, isn't it? Is it Thursday the 10th of December? I wouldn't even know what date it is. I think it is. Oh, no. We've had the new moon eclipse in Sag, so it must be Thursday the 17th of December. Thursday the 17th of December. So according to my Moonology diary, It's the moon is moving out of Capricorn and into Aquarius today. And for those of you who've got my diary and haven't quite worked it out, so every day, what am I showing you there? I don't want to show you all my private notes. Every day you can see the moon moves, you know, here it was in Capricorn, today it's Capricorn into Aquarius. So there you go. So I want to do a little chant. So I'm going to surrender my day. I'm going to surrender the thing that's bugging me. Someone is bugging me. I'm going to surrender that. And I'm going to surrender this tedious work complication that my husband's working on right now, which is taking up our time, which I don't think we should need to do. And it's, by the way, it's nothing to do. I felt like when I said that, it sounds like it's a tax thing. It's not a tax thing, but it's something like one of those sorts of annoying things that nobody could be bothered to do. So I'm going to surrender those. What are you going to surrender? I'm surrendering the day, fear around the thing that's bugging me, and the tedious work thing. What are you surrendering? Or you can just surrender your whole life if you're, you know, that way inclined. What are you surrendering? Tell me in the comments. No one's saying anything. Melanie's surrendering everything. That's great. That'll do. That's more than adequate. Nope. No one is telling me what they're surrendering. Lulu's surrendering fear. Perfect. Now, let me just say before we start, the reason why it's perfect to surrender fear today is that Saturn, is the planet of fear. So Saturn just brings fears up in us, and Saturn's changing signs today. So a lot of stuff that's been going on is going to be like this. All right. Okay, here we go. I can see people are surrendering. Jagdeep surrendering court situation. Donna, insecurity. Rhonda, control. Okay, we're ready. So I'll do it 3 times, okay? 3 times. Here we go. It's Om Namo Narayani. Okay, it means I surrender to the divine. So divine, I'm calling in the Divine Mother in the form of Sri Shakti Narayani Amma, Lakshmi Saraswati and Durga. Kali, I surrender these situations to you. Here we go. Om Namo Narayani. Om Namo Narayani. Om Namo Narayani. And one thing that goes hand in hand with surrender is the idea that sometimes things happen for a reason that we don't understand, either at the time or ever. Okay? It feels better to me. That feels better to me. Michael Hands, please don't sell readings unless they're giving away readings is fine. We've had all these spammers who keep coming on and selling readings and they're complete spammers. So please don't buy any readings from anyone. No, okay, Michael Hands, you are blocked, baby. There you go. No, that's not acceptable. Gotta be tough. Okay, now what should we do first? Should we talk about Kali or shall we talk about the astrology? Let's talk about the astrology really briefly. I actually printed out, it doesn't actually print out, I printed out the wrong way, I'm afraid, but you can still see it if I bring it close up to the camera. If you haven't got my free Jupiter-Saturn report, this is some of the information about Saturn. It's about 13 pages, but I just printed out the Saturn page because today is the day that Saturn's changing signs for the first time, for real, for about 2 and a bit years. Okay, like it goes backwards and forwards, but it's going into Aquarius now. So I just wanted to give you a little update. This is from my free report. which you can get up in the link in Facebook. And for Instagram, it's www.moonmessages.com/JS for sugar, S for Saturn, 2020. J for Jupiter, S for Saturn, 2020. moonmessages.com/JS 2020. You can get it, it's free. And so Saturn is, and what I've put in the report here is living, because every planet has positives and negatives. So everyone thinks Saturn, oh no, Saturn's terrible, oh my God. But actually, Saturn is fine if you work with Saturn, okay? Oh, Jagdeep's got the printout right in front of her, great. So living positively. So when you're living positively, Saturn's about commitment, discipline, integrity, and longevity, amongst other things. I've just given a few keywords. Living negatively, or, you know, if Saturn's really needling you, it can be about fears, barriers, depression, and hard-heartedness, and even about heartbreak. Saturn has a fearsome reputation as the taskmaster of the zodiac. Saturn is the stench of reality up your nose. Okay, the hard facts, the lessons you didn't want to learn. Wherever you have Saturn in your chart, you must face the music. All right, and work hard. So, you know, Saturn's kind of like if someone's being mean to you, you know, and then trying to be your friend and then being mean and then pretending to be your friend, like it's a reality. It's like, you know what? This person might be my friend, but they're not really a good friend. You know, it's that sort of harsh reality that sometimes we have to face, you know, or, you know, if it's a career thing, it might be, well, I'm just not cut out for this particular career. You know, I pinned my hopes on it, but maybe it's just not for me. It's stuff like that where you kind of go, oh, for beep's sake, I get it. You know? Once you know the placement of Saturn, now that it's moving, you'll know more about where to expect challenges. So if you grab the free report, I'm not going to go through them all now, but if you grab the free report, the link is above, and for Instagram, it's www.moonmessages.com/JS2020, JS for Jupiter Saturn. You can find out which house it's in for you and where it's going to go, but and how it's going to affect you. But let's talk about the fact, and also actually when you download the free report, you actually get an offer. We just put it up there yesterday, I think. That Reclaim workshop I did a couple of months ago, which people have loved, and it goes through all this and also looks into 2020. We've actually put it up there now because it's, you know, a bit old. It's about a month old, but, you know, it was live. It was a kind of a live thing, but we've taken you get a big discount if you buy it as well. So someone just said here, Saturn sounds like a joy killer. And Saturn is not so much a joy killer. Saturn's like I said, Saturn's the stench of reality up your nose. And sometimes that is a joy killer because it's nice to kind of fool ourselves. But with Saturn, there ain't no fooling yourself. You know, Saturn's about this. These are the facts, kiddo. And the sooner you grow up and accept them, the happier you're going to be. Because once you accept these facts, and you might go, well, what about creative visualization? What about blah, blah, blah? What about this? What about that? Sure. But, you know, if anyone else is involved, you cannot creatively visualize someone to bend to your will. I mean, you know, if you do, that's dangerous. You're just going to get bit on the bum. You know, so if you're going, oh, but what about making new moon wishes because my boyfriend's really horrible to me? It's like, nah, you can't change someone with your wishes. That's why I'm always saying when we make wishes, we wish for a feeling. You know, you can't wish that your toad of a boyfriend will turn into a prince because this is not Once Upon a Time on Netflix. I had a boyfriend who was a toad and I did try and turn him into a prince and it was a completely fruitless exercise and he's still a toad. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm sure he's not a toad now. I'm sure he's grown up and moved on. Anyway, enough of that. Noreen says, should we be looking at the birth chart, the progress chart? No, look, what I'm talking about here, Noreen, is I'm not talking about the natal chart. I'm talking about where Saturn, which is changing signs today, moving from Capricorn into Aquarius, how does that affect your natal chart? You know, so maybe it's been in your 5th house, now it's going to go into your 6th house. Maybe it's been in your 7th house, which is relationships, so it might have been tough. Now it's going to go into your 8th house, so you're going to get the pressure off relationships, but there will now be a bit more pressure in your life to do with joint finances and possibly intimacy, or maybe you've learned all your lessons while Jupiter was in your 7th house, and it's going to be about learning, you know, getting the benefits of that. You know, another example is when Jupiter's in your 9th house, I will always be explaining, you know, that now's the time to work really hard, because then you reap the rewards when Saturn goes into your 10th house and you get to be the boss. The boss. So let me just say a couple more things before I do the cards. I really want to say this. Saturn in Capricorn has been particularly difficult. Haley's saying, how do we find out where Saturn has been in our chart? That's in the free PDF. That's why I've made the PDF, so you can work it out. Sorry if I didn't make that clear. The PDF is the link up there. That's where it is. I'm not talking about your natal chart. I'm talking about Saturn today. Saturn is moving signs. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I think I've assumed too much information here. I'm just going to quickly go back to basics, okay? So, on the day that you were born, all the planets were somewhere. And if you know your rising sign, you end up knowing where all your planets are and which sign which rules which house. So you might have Gemini ruling your 2nd house, or you might have Scorpio ruling your 7th house, or you might have Aquarius ruling your 10th house, or whatever, you know. And all the houses mean something different. So that's fixed forever. I mean, apart from progressed charts, but that's advanced astrology. We're not getting in that today. Your natal chart basically, effectively stays the same, although there are techniques you can use if you want to progress it, but forget about that for now. Okay, your natal chart basically stays the same. And then what happens is, guess what? The planets keep moving. So you have your chart. I do have a chart here somewhere. You have your chart. Have I got one? No, can't find it. But basically, imagine your chart, and then all the planets move around the outside, okay? So Rhonda's saying she's Aquarius rising, okay? So what that means is if you're Aquarius rising, it means that transiting Saturn, which means the Saturn up in the skies right now, nothing to do with the day you were born, transiting Saturn, which is Saturn right now, is changing signs. So if you're Aquarius rising, like Rhonda, it means that Saturn has been in your 12th house and is now moving into your 1st house. Wherever you have Aquarius in your chart is where it's moving. Now, before you say, but I don't have Aquarius in my chart, everybody, if you use the whole sign houses system, which is the oldest and the best and used by the best astrologers in the world, everybody has Aquarius in their chart somewhere. It might be your love zone, it might be your money zone, it might be your mind zone, it might be your travel zone, it might be your work zone, your friend zone, your fear zone, your home zone, your fun zone, your health zone. It could be anywhere, okay? There's 12 of them. Every house covers something different. So transiting Saturn, which is Saturn up in the skies right now, is changing signs. Okay, so it means it's changing houses. So it's going to affect you in a different way from today onwards to the way it's been affecting you for the past 2 and a bit years. Okay, and Rebecca is saying, is there a reason I feel fantastically good today? Well, it may well be that Saturn has moved out of a part of your chart where it was really negatively affecting you. Okay. So Odette, Aquarius rising, right. So it's moving into your 1st house. If you're Pisces rising, it's moving into your 12th house. So get the free PDF. I hope it will explain all this. Okay. I was going to explain something else, but I think I'm just going to leave it there because I don't want to confuse everyone. So, okay. Boitumelo, what a great name. Aquarius is my 2nd house. Okay, so it's moving, so that means Saturn's moving into your 2nd house. Transiting Saturn is moving into your 2nd house. And what that means is that you're going to have challenges and rewards, because Jupiter's also moving, to do with money in the next 2.5 years. More about this as the week unfolds. All right, so we're going to do a Kali card. If you don't understand, please get the free PDF moonmessages.com/JS2020, and we will talk again tomorrow, and it will start to make more sense. And get the discounted workshop while you're at it, because I explained it all in there. And I'm really sorry, tomorrow when I sit down to do my 11:11 a.m., I am going to explain it from the beginning, and then I might even do an 11:11 a.m. on Saturday, even though I don't usually do them on the weekend, or I might pre-record one, because that's when Jupiter, the lucky planet, is moving. So in fact, what's happening is Jupiter and Saturn are both moving this week, which is massive. And then they're going to conjoin on the 21st in a way that they haven't done for 800 years. They're going to be the closest they've been for 800 years. All right, so I obviously I need to go back to basics. Tune in tomorrow, 11:11 a.m., and I will start all over again. But now what we're going to do is we're going to do a Kali card. So who has the courage to get a Kali card? Oh, I think that's it. I know, Lise, I do try. I came up here with good intentions to tell people about the fact that Saturn's changing signs today, and it all gets so... It's because I'm reading people's questions as I'm talking. I should probably just, have my idea of what I'm going to say and stick to that and not get sidetracked by people's questions. But then I see, oh my God, I'm not explaining it properly, or so many different levels of understanding and all this. So tomorrow we'll do it more simpler. All right? All right, so here comes the Kali card. Okay. Oh, well, this is actually a welcome sight for me. It's the Budri Kali sign. I know that that's not going to be too terrifying, because my teacher in India, as ever I turn right to it, my teacher in India, Sri Shakti Narayani Amma, has been doing Budri Kali pujas, like ceremonies, for months and months, so that we could all keep the virus from our door. So are you ready to hear it? I'm watching Schitt's Creek at the moment. That was a bit of Moira coming out just then, wasn't it? Are you ready to hear this? Such a weird accent she has. Thank you, Christy. I needed that. Thank you, because otherwise I was going to feel mental. All right. Okay. Oh, my God. This is so cool, because because I've got this thing that's upsetting me that I can't really do anything about. I thought I'm going to have to get a Kali card. I'm going to have to, face the fires. And I was really scared I was going to get one of the scary skeleton Kalis. And we've actually got Budri Kali. And now listen to the message. Our wild divine mother knows when to become gentle with our hearts. How's that? Come on. She knows I need gentleness. Thank you, Kali. Bestowing sweetness that liberates us from fear. I'm going to cry. Watch out. Though you may have faced much struggle and challenge on your path, though it may seem only the most powerful intensity could stem the tide of negativity, the dark mother of grace will conquer the obstacles to your freedom with gentleness. Wow, mind blown. She manifests herself now as Budri or Budra. In India, my teacher says Budri Kali, but on this card it's Budra Kali, but it's definitely the same thing. As Budra, the gentle. Oh my God. Thank you, Kali. She will calm the waves of emotion, eradicate doubt and despair, and provide safe and graceful passage through all difficulties. Wow, wow, wow. So that's the Kali Oracle from Alana Fairchild. That is amazing. So I'm going to finish with 3 chants to Kali. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here we go. Om Karliye Namaha. Om Karliye Namaha. Om Karliye Namaha. Well, 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 there you go. How's that? Kali is with us. All right. Sending you lots and lots of love. Get the free PDF. Read it. And I'll be back tomorrow to talk more about what it means that Jupiter and Saturn are changing signs. But Saturn is changing signs today. It's a big day. Read it. Get the information. Link above. There's so much more I could have said, but I'll say it tomorrow once we're all on the same page. Lots of love.